Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 94. I'm your host, Rico, here with my co-host,
Dane Cody.
Dane mother effing Cody.
Yeah.
We get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, or whatever the hell we like. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for listening, of course.
We do appreciate it.
Dane.
Yeah.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, life, trying not to get snowed in.
Yeah, seriously. We were having, for anyone who doesn't know, we're up on the northwest coast, getting just pummeled by a snowstorm right now.
Yes, we are.
It's been pretty fun. I haven't had to miss work yet, but I don't know. They say it's going to turn to rain tonight.
I don't know. It better, because on my way home, it was like driving through a blizzard, so.
Oh, yeah.
And we already have well over a foot of snow around here, so.
It was brutal. I'm figuring if it isn't gone tomorrow's going to be a snow day. I'm going to be sick.
I wish I could be sick, but unfortunately it doesn't work like that in my job, so I can always work from home.
I can't do my job from home. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
One day.
It's both the dream and not at the same time.
So, if you've never been here before, we usually start the show with what you've been drinking, get into some what you've been playing, news, public service announcements, and then our free-for-all. So, Dane.
Yo.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking some Jack Daniels.
Jack D.
Yep, some Jack Daniels. It is delicious.
Old-fashioned.
Really?
I don't know. Is Jack Daniels... They have different types. I'm thinking it's like Johnny Walker has Blue Label and shit like that, right?
There is, they do make other drinks, like they make Johnny Walker honey and Johnny Walker cheese. They do make Jack Daniels honey and I think a few other ones, I'm not sure. This one is just straight Jack Daniels.
Jack D.
The original.
Black Label.
It does have a black label on it, yes.
I am drinking iced tea.
Fair enough.
I forgot to grab a drink this week, so...
Did you put Jack Daniels in the iced tea?
But my iced tea's really good.
Did you put Jack Daniels in it?
No.
Oh.
I don't even have Jack Daniels to put in.
Man, what kind of an alcoholic are you?
Not a very good one.
No kidding. You gotta step your game up, man.
I'm trying to think if anything crazy did I do any this weekend. I don't think so. It started snowing on Friday. There's a lot of inside time. Played some vids.
Yeah.
We played some vids.
Yeah, we did. Not as much as I would have liked, actually.
I would have liked to have played more.
I know.
Do you don't have any stories you want to tell before we jump into what you've been playing?
I had a pretty low-key sort of weekend. I did a trek out in the snow on Saturday night for a friend's birthday party, and outside of that, it was pretty chill. We just a lot of hanging out at home, trying to stay warm, trying not to get snowed in too badly.
I literally can't remember what I did this weekend. I beat Dishonored 2.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to think if I did anything else.
Fair enough.
I think I just played vids. I don't think I did it. Oh, I hung my new TV.
Oh, right. The one that you'd ordered last week.
That's what I did.
You hadn't got it yet.
Wall mounted, had to take down the other one, which is an old plasma. It's probably 6 or 7 years old now. Did I tell the story of why I bought a TV? I think I did, didn't I? Mentioned
your HDMI inputs were effed up.
Man, that thing is freaking heavy. It was real heavy.
Yeah, the good plasma screens. That's what I have in my office here still.
Compared to the new TV, which is probably half the weight and half the bezel. It's bigger. It's 5 inches bigger, but it looks like the same size. Just because
the bezels are so much smaller?
The other one had so much bezel.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, man, we should have got a 60.
I know.
But
that's kind of what happened to me when I bought my TV. Now I'm sitting there looking at it, thinking I should have went for the 65-inch. But exactly this what you just said.
Like
the
another
cost
$500-$800.
Yeah, the cost was quite a large jump, and we were not willing to jump to that at that point.
So yeah, we did that, and then I took down the other one, and I was going to hang it because I said how the component input still worked.
Right.
So I was going to move that plasma into our spare room, which is kind of like our junk room / gym room. That's where my weights are and the elliptical.
Right.
My weights
have a
covered in
workout
dust.
TV.
Yeah, because
you work out so much.
I've been terrible lately, but I was really good. There was a time frame. You know what my workout regime was? It was like I go work out and I'd watch like Netflix. I'd watch anime actually.
That's actually a really good idea.
So to watch my shows, because of stuff that Nikki has no interest in, like Sword Art Online and Knights of Sidonia and stuff.
Yeah,
I would watch that in the gym, and each episode is about half an hour, plus or minus.
22 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So I would watch an episode or two, and that would be like my motivation to go work out. It's like, oh, I'm going to watch the next episode. So we're doing the elliptical and then weights and stuff. And I was doing really good for a while, and I totally dropped. Well, I guess we had the baby, and that kind of F things up.
That'll do that.
I'm going to mount the plasma in there because the component input still works.
Right. That makes sense.
I'll get Netflix on there, and then I'm going to start doing that again. I really have to.
It's actually a really good idea, you know?
It is.
I mean, I have a gym here in our complex that I can just walk down to, and it's free. It's got treadmills and weights and stuff, and I just have no motivation to do that.
No, it's hard. It's so boring when you stare at the wall. Like I could listen to podcasts and stuff, but I found it worked. Like I said, it really worked when it's like my motivation was, oh, I also get to watch my show, so I'm killing two birds with one stone.
Totally.
And it's like the reward, and it keeps my mind busy instead of being like, oh, I'd fucking rather be doing something else. I am kind of doing the something other else at the same time. It worked really well. I found, for me, it did.
But no, I feel like that would actually be very much right up my alley. I feel like that would work well for me because I'm sort of in a similar boat.
So that's what I got to do. And then, what else? Just did that. Mount the TV. Oh, I had a mount that I had from anyway, I had another mount. Story's a long story, but I had another TV mount, and I'm like, oh, sweet, I could just wall mount the other one. So I wall mounted the bracket in the gym and drilled holes in the wall for running wires, and then I'm like, shit. This mount doesn't too small.
Fit that TV.
It's way too small.
Oh,
so I gotta order another mount for that one. So it's just sitting on the floor, but I'm like, oh yeah, dude, no problem. And then like I go to put the brackets on the back of the TV. I'm like, it's not even long enough to reach the other screw holes.
Oh, I've so had a similar situation before. It sucked.
I'm like, this is for a much smaller TV.
Yep.
On the plus side, I know where my studs are and already have big bolts in there, so it'll be pretty easy to put a new mount on there.
Oh, that's fair.
So besides that, what have you been playing?
Dude, I pretty much spent the whole weekend playing Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah,
there was a closed beta this weekend.
Spend the whole weekend, but I played a bit.
Yeah, huge shout out to Ubisoft. They supplied us with codes.
Woot woot.
Awesome of those guys to hook us up like that. Yeah, this was a game, like, to be fair, I watched at, I think when did they announce this? E3 last year? Yeah, and I watched it and I thought, that's open kind world. Of interesting. A big open world,
Ghost
Rainbow
Recon
Six, game. Ghost Recon, sort of okay. And then, I don't know, it just didn't really, the video that they showed just didn't really jump at me and make me, like, super excited. I kind of went, all right, so that's a thing, it's going to come out.
I think a lot of people did that. They're like, huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, yeah, and then, like I said, I kind of half forgot that it was even a thing that was coming out. I didn't
realize it was coming out so soon. I felt like it was the end of this year. It's like in March.
I know. It's dude, a little bit of a side note here. The amount of games coming out in March, like
It's
February,
starting
March,
the end
April.
starting the end of February.
It
No,
is-
starting in the middle of February.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm half tempted to cancel my Switch pre-order just so I can play all of these other games.
Okay, like we're gonna go off the rails here a little bit, but what is it? Next week is For Honor.
Yeah.
Then 2 weeks after that is Horizon. Then obviously Zelda, March 3rd. And then Ghost Recon and Wildlands. And then Mass Effect Andromeda. There's more.
Like I said, huge games all dropping.
And there's more than, these are like giant AAA, like hugely anticipated titles. It's pretty crazy.
These are like all of the games that just weren't quite ready to make it in the fall. So they pushed them into first quarter. And now we have another November, except that it's March. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's crazy. It does feel like
So there's a little part of me that I'm half tempted to cancel my Switch pre-order, pick up Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, and then pick up all these other games. Cause like if I buy the Switch, I'm gonna get Breath of the Wild, obviously. But, I'm going to have to sort of half curb this because my wife's going to look at me and go, dude, you spent all this money on a Switch and you want to now buy all these other games? So yeah. So I don't know. We're still, that's kind of up in the air in my brain right now. But anyways, there's an incredible amount of games coming out. Like you said, For Honor is happening soon. There's going to be an open beta for that coming, I think, this weekend, actually, or very soon anyways. There's actually an open beta for Honor. But yeah.
Has that started already? I was not listening to you.
I don't believe the For Honor beta has started, the open one at least. I think it's coming. So, Ghost Recon Wildlands, that's upcoming. They did a closed beta this last weekend, and that seemed kind of interesting. So, like I said, Ubisoft managed to hook us up, and I don't know. I kind of went into it. I downloaded it. I got it all prepped and everything. I came home and I started playing it, and initially I don't know. I was kind of for me. It ran all right. It didn't run amazing, but it also didn't run like total crap. There was a few performance issues, but I mean, hey, it's closed beta. They're still optimizing and getting it ready for launch.
Yeah, I must say it probably truly was a beta because for me, it crashed. Up until the last couple times I played, it crashed like every time I played. Not right away, like after an hour or two of playing. It didn't crash the last couple times I played, but that's when I turned off a bunch of shit like NVIDIA Shadow Play and a bunch of other crap that was running. So I don't know if it was maybe one of those other apps that was causing it. I know you told me to go find new drivers, but I had the newest drivers.
Okay.
There wasn't even beta drivers. Well, there might have been. I didn't look that hard.
I know there was beta drivers from both AMD and NVIDIA for this game. They were essentially what they call hotfix drivers, which they come in hot. They're designed for a specific one or two games. In my case, it was Ghost Recon Wildlands, and there was also another game that it was optimizing for as well. I had one crash / hard lock. I had to reboot my computer. But
was
then
that
after
when we were playing? No,
it was previous to that. It only happened to me once, and that's when I actually went and looked for newer drivers and found them. Didn't have a problem after that. So, I suspect that was the issue on my end, at least. But no, honestly, that game kind of came out of left field. I'm just going to preface this with, I loved it. I had a blast playing that demo, or the beta, sorry. It's like a cross between, if I had to give kind of an idea, it's a third person, massive open world game that feels like a cross between Far Cry, Just Cause 3, and The Division. and it's got like little bits of things from all of those. It doesn't feel nearly as serious and angry as The Division does, but it's not as ridiculous and outlandish as Just Cause 3.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, like, the way that you can tag enemies and the way that you can approach things feels kind of Far Cry-y in some ways. There's obviously like a level up system and a system that's in place, again, similar to The Division and a lot of games nowadays, with leveling up, and you level up and abilities level up and things like that, which is cool. But that game is honestly a giant sandbox, and you can really, it is one of the games that you can attack or go at things from honestly whatever angle you want. I finished everything there was to do in the beta.
So does it end with getting the couple that they set you up to go after, or no?
That was the main story. So there was the main story, like, missions that you do throughout, that you did through the beta, and it accumulated with that. But there was still a bunch of side stuff that you could do as well. There was various weapon parts. There was various skills that you would go get. So there was some other stuff as well. And I honestly, it was funny. I started the game and I jumped in a truck, and my 4 AI teammates jumped in the truck, and I went for a drive, and I went, holy crap, I'm driving for 5 minutes to get somewhere. Like, this map is huge.
And that's just a small section of the map.
That's a small section of that map.
Because I noticed when you zoom out of the map, it shows you like all the cartel, I guess the main heads, you take them down by targeting the distribution and production and the different arms of their operation. And then I guess it comes to, it comes to a head with you going after the main. Yeah,
I think you have to take down
captain or boss or whatever they call him for that area.
I think you have to take out so many of the bosses directly below him before you can actually get to the final dude, which is kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, it seemed neat. And you get intel, so you find stuff about their whereabouts.
Well, that was what was really cool. Like, I was cruising along, and I know that they gave me a story mission right away. They said, hey, go here, go do this. And so I was actually on my way to do that. And then I popped up my map and I saw these other things. So me being me, I totally got sidetracked. And I cruised into the first town that I found, and I drove past this guy's house. And apparently it was a mob boss or Sicario house or whatever. So I went in there and killed a bunch of dudes and almost had a bad time, but I managed to live. And there was a lieutenant in there, and he tried to run away, but I caught him down, totally interrogated him, got a bunch of info. And it's a really cool thing. When you interrogate a lieutenant, you first of all, you have a couple things. You kind of have two ways of going about it. If you go full on, kill everybody, guns blazing, there's a good chance that he's going to try and run. And there's a good chance that he'll actually jump in a car, or in some cases a helicopter, or an airplane, and take off. And if he's not in a car, there's a good chance he's gone. Like, if he jumps in a helicopter.
I only had, I think, one opportunity to track down a guy like that.
Okay.
And I got him, so he did not get away.
I had one. So this guy, again, first, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes of the game. Here I am cruising down the road, whatever. Oh, cool. There's some bad dudes over here. I'll go see what this is all about. Getting a feel for the game and stuff. And kind of stumbled upon this, and he jumped in a truck, and it was like, oh, the lieutenant's driving away. So I hijacked another vehicle, took off after him, managed to shoot out his car so that it stopped running, and then he jumped out and he puts his hands up and he's like, oh, don't shoot. So I managed to run up to him and interrogate him.
So you shot him in the face?
No, I did not.
Oh.
Because my guys were yelling at me the whole time, like, hey, we need him for intel. So I ran over to him, and it was interesting though, because when I interrogated him, I actually had 3 options where I could get him to show me where, essentially how would I explain it? I could get him to give me the location of things for the rebels. I could tell him to tell me where there was things like weapon caches and extra skills and things like that. Or I could use him to sort of level up right away. So it's kind of that you had these options that you could choose how you wanted to handle it. And it was kind of a neat thing. So I told him to hook me up with some rebel intel or something like that. And then I knocked him on the head and ran off and whatever. But then all of a sudden on my map, I had like all these different like green things popping up. And so it was kind of cool because like initially I looked at my map and I was like, oh, this like there's definitely question marks and things on my map. But I was initially thinking like this seems a little bit sparse. I wonder what the deal is here. But then after playing a bunch, I realized sort of how this all worked, and pretty soon my map had all kinds of crap on it that I could go all over the place and look at stuff and whatnot. One of the things that really I thought was interesting with the game was the dynamic weather. Here I was, you're in Bolivia, I'm half in the mountains, but I'm half in the jungle and stuff, and all of a sudden, here I am cruising down the road, and the clouds roll in, and it just starts pouring rain, and it got a lot darker, and it just suddenly, like, driving on the roads was slipperier, and it was cool, and it rolled in, and it felt like you were actually in a country and had some weather come in. It didn't just feel like you loaded into a video game that happened to have rain. And then it actually went away. Like, as I was playing, you know, it rained all through the night, and then as it started to get light out, the rain sort of started to dissipate, and by, you know, probably midday, it was gone and the sun was back out. And that was cool. Like, not only is there a day-night cycle, so you can choose when you want to do some of these, like, assault missions, and depending on your style, you can decide to go in at night, which means that the enemies are going to have a harder time seeing you, but obviously you're also going to have a harder time seeing them, but you also have night vision and various other tools that you can utilize. But if you want to go in guns blazing, you're going to have a much better chance during the day to spot all the enemies and try and figure all of that out. Or if you want to be real sneaky, you go in during the day, you spot everything, then you wait for it to get dark, and then you go in.
Ooh, my power just like dimmed out.
Ooh, hopefully we don't have a short podcast.
Well, that scared me.
We're both still here, which is a good sign. So yeah, it was cool. It was super cool. I had some moments in that game where it really started to work for me when I was like hanging out, and then all of a sudden I managed to do a mission. I cruised into this spot. I capped some dudes. I interrogated this guy.
Oh, geez, it just dimmed again. I'm getting scared. I'm getting real scared. Sorry.
Is this a save this and postpone the rest of the podcast to another day, or?
I don't know.
Okay, well, here's hoping that 94 doesn't need to be reworked.
Re-recorded.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I'm just going to open the door and see what the weather's like.
All right.
I'm back. It didn't seem that bad.
No?
I don't know. I say the show must go on.
All right. Here's hoping the show goes on and
yeah,
we don't have any issues.
I had a decent amount of fun. It reminded me of The Division. A different kind of loot system, obviously not your traditional colored loot drops. More like it wasn't really random loot. You actually found the weapons out in the world. and the parts for the gun customization, which was kind of cool.
I liked that. I thought that was a pretty cool way of going about it.
I think it was less random and more just you happen to find it and here you can use it, which was kind of cool. I found the shooting was solid. It controlled really well. I liked how you could tackle it any way you wanted, stealthily or guns blazing. And clearly a lot harder when you went guns blazing.
I think depending on the mission, you did need to be smart about it because there was a smaller amount of you versus them, and I think that was sort of by design. The guns blazing thing.
I really liked the drone. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you have a drone that you can throw up in the air to help tag guys and just get a feel for what's going on in the enemy camps and stuff.
You can tag them via the binoculars.
Yeah.
Or, if you sight them with your weapon so your teammates can see them, so it lets them know where enemies are as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool. You get an actual little drone and you fly it up and you're buzzing around like the cartel's little drug site or, little weapons factory or whatever the hell you want to call it. Their fortresses or bases and so forth. Which is really neat because that was fun, like zooming around. It's like, okay, we've got 10 tangos, so forth. Oh, there's a Sicario over by the tires. You guys are always... This is just cool chatter going on. Meanwhile, you're doing this and you just feel like a super badass commando.
Oh, totally.
Which felt really cool.
Well, like I was saying, the mission that I was talking about, here I roll in, I cap all these dudes, I keep it all silent. Then I manage to sneak up on the lieutenant. Mm-hmm. I interrogate him, I knock him out. Then I walk out, cap the other two guys that were left, and then I walk over to their helicopter, fucking jack it, take it right out from underneath them and fly it off into another. And then what the sweet thing is I flew the helicopter over to one of my next missions and I used the helicopter and my guys and everything to do reconnaissance on my next one, jumped out of the helicopter, parachuted in beside the base and snuck in and did my mission. It felt like you felt like Rambo. Like, it was awesome. It honestly felt so cool.
I definitely did that on one of the missions where you just like silently snuck up, took guys out, took out the whole crew, and then basically interrogated the captains. Like, yeah, that was really cool. It's like, okay, we're an elite force here. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But at the same time, there was also a few times where I got in and I got a little overly cocky and I managed to get my butt killed pretty quickly too. Like, that's the other thing. You do have to be careful because it is a video game, but I feel like they've done a good job of making you feel like a badass, but you're not invincible. And they remind you of that. And especially if you do get overly cocky, you can be reminded of it pretty quickly. You're definitely not a bullet sponge, and neither are they. One shots will easily take dudes out, especially if you're using a higher caliber rifle, which is, like the real world, especially if you're headshotting.
My favorite was to snipe people from a distance.
Oh, yeah. Once I unlocked the sniper rifle, totally would go in there, take out all the other snipers in the towers and anybody that I knew wasn't going to get showed up.
The gun customization was pretty neat. Did you play with it at all?
Oh, totally.
It was really cool.
I liked it a lot. You could change.
Basically, it's in a menu, but what happens is the gun basically flies apart to all the different parts that make it up, from the magazine to the stock to the barrel to the trigger type to the sight. Like, everything.
You can change all of that. It's
you
pretty
can put
cool.
on different rails for the different attachments.
Yeah, you can put on the grenade launcher attachment if you want.
Cool. It looked awesome too. I'm like, yeah, I'm a super hardcore, military dude modding my gun. It was it was a neat interface. I really liked that. And you saw your changes like instantly. And there seemed to be a shitload of attachments and customization for the weapons.
Oh, yeah, there was a fairly good selection of weapons.
There was a lot of weapons.
Some of them were, like, I was reading through them while we were playing the beta, and some of them are very much based on, you can find this weapon in this town or this area. You explore this area to find this weapon, kind of a thing. But some of them were a lot more, you're going to have to kill this guy to unlock this gun. You're going to have to go finish this mission to unlock this gun. So I feel like they had a pretty good mix of you're going to be able to stumble across some stuff, and also we're going to keep some of this stuff as little apples down the road that you're going to want to try and pick because they're going to be sweet, right?
Yeah.
So it was cool. I really enjoyed that. I felt that some of the vehicle stuff some of the driving was a little bit
controlled
not
well.
awesome.
They controlled well with the controller. They were a little touchy with the mouse and keyboard.
I was totally playing with a mouse and keyboard. I completely forgot to try a controller for driving. I would say try a controller for flying the airplane. I found the helicopters, I thought initially were going to be really hard, but surprisingly enough, the helicopter was pretty easy to fly. But man, there's a mission that I did where I hijacked an airplane and I stole it.
I was there. I saw you look like you crashed into the mountain.
And it was hard to fly that airplane, man. It was really hard. Once I got it into the air, it was one thing, but it was landing it after I got up in the air. I was like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, this is no problem." And then it was like, "Wait a second. I have to land this thing at the other site, and this isn't a helicopter where I can just fly over and drop it down. No, I actually have to try and get the angle right and stop it in the proper time and come at this in the proper, descent properly." And so that was, most of the time I find the airplanes are a little easier to fly than the helicopters. So not so much in this one.
I didn't get a plane, so I never had that opportunity to find them or fly one. Sorry, I did fly the helicopter, which the helicopter was fine. I wasn't a huge fan of how they controlled, but
you know what? When I first jumped, again, I'm playing with a mouse and keyboard. I don't know how it controlled with a controller, but on a mouse and keyboard, it was fairly straightforward, and I felt like it worked pretty well. When I first got in a helicopter, I really didn't like it. And then I realized, at least the way that I was flying it, what I needed to do was I needed to go up, and then I needed to go forward. So I'd throttle up to get the altitude that I needed, and then I'd pull off the throttle, and I'd just hit whatever direction it was that I needed to go, and I would just fly over there. It was great. Hovering was no problem. You just essentially not touch anything, and you could throttle down to just drop the helicopter down. So initially a little bit confusing, but once I did it a bit, it was by far my favorite thing in that game, man, was to go whatever I wanted to go, do what I needed to do, and then either have a helicopter sitting outside or know that there was one at the other end of the mission that I could just steal and go to my next one.
Yeah, I would have liked to have gotten to play more to see how, obviously it's a beta, they're not giving away the whole game or anything. It would have been cool to see what it's like when you take out one of the main characters. And depending on the missions, there's like cutscenes and there's a full there's a full single player campaign here, or you can play the whole thing cooperatively, which is up to 4 players, which is really cool.
So Rick and I got a little opportunity to play on Sunday night. Our schedules just didn't quite work up. We tried to do it earlier, but I had some issues where I had a hard drive that was failing and it didn't work out very well. But then we managed to meet up later on that night, and you get a taste of rolling with a 4-man crew. I think that game would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be super cool because each one of you would have your part. You could totally have guys, telling other guys where people were hiding. So you could have a sniper in an Overwatch position. You could have multiple people. You could set it up so that you could hit a specific target at the same time, or take out specific guys at the same time, or have a guy come in.
Or me drive a vehicle while you have a minigun on the roof and you just tear everyone to shreds.
Or that. Or I was going to say, or you could have a guy that was ready so that when everything hit the fan, you could all jump in a helicopter or jump in something and fly away. I feel like there's huge potential for stuff like that, which actually got me really excited.
And or some hilarity.
Oh, absolutely. So there's 2 factions in the game. One of them are the rebels, which are kind of on your side. So if you help them out, you gain abilities and things like that they'll help you out. So one of the abilities is you can call a mortar strike down from the rebels. You can say, hey, can you hit this spot? And they'll send mortars in to hit that spot for you. Another one that you can use is one of the ones that I unlocked. That was the first one I unlocked. The second one that I unlocked was so that they would create a distraction. So you could call them in and they would essentially roll up in a truck and just start shooting the cartel.
They're like, what's up?
Yeah. So then the second faction is the cartel, who's you're obviously trying to take down. Those guys they're roam around and there's various outposts and things like that. They're in the towns and they've got houses and various fortresses and other things that you're trying to take down and take out from underneath them. And also along the way, there's a third faction that is more or less the Bolivian military. And those guys you got to be careful with because it's a similar thing to Grand Theft Auto. There's like a star meter with them where if you start killing them, even if it's silently, you're going to start ticking them off. And so if you kill a bunch of them trying to infiltrate one of their bases, essentially your stars are going to start to slowly increase as you kill them. And that's going to cause them to start bringing in reinforcements and calling in other troops up until the point where they start getting real choked and they start bringing in the big guns. They'll bring in APCs and tanks and it gets nasty real quick. So you got to be careful with that one. But of course, there's missions where you got to infiltrate one of their bases and either get prisoners out or talk to one of their lieutenants, and things like that. So you kind of have to balance stuff like that in the game as well, which I think is cool. It makes it interesting. Having those three factions all that you got to worry about. So.
Yeah, it was cool. It went from something that had me going, huh? And not on my radar to like totally on my radar, most likely going to pick up.
Yeah, I'm totally in a similar boat now. It was like I said, it was kind of that might be interesting. I don't know, whatever. Kind of half forget about it. And then after playing it, I really wanted to play more of it because like we said, I think that it would just be hilarious in good ways and also awesome cruising around with a crew. And the mix of like the game is honestly beautiful. The draw distances are huge. Those maps are massive. And yeah, I think they're doing a lot of things right. Unless something goes seriously wrong and I don't know, it goes super sideways later on in the game or they decide to do something real dumb. I have a hard time believing that game is not going to be worth playing, especially if you have 2 or 3 other people to team up with and roll around those maps and just cause havoc and
I think that's the biggest appeal. It seems like such a big open world that, you know, even if you don't get to play a lot, your buddies can jump in with you and you can make progress in your story. Meanwhile, you're playing like this big campaign and, but at the same time you can play with your buddies too.
Totally.
It seemed like a pretty solid shooter overall, right?
Oh yeah, totally. I agree.
I had fun.
So
it was cool.
Yeah.
What else? I played some Fire Emblem Heroes.
I actually did as well.
I
forgot about that, actually. That is now out on the phones.
That came out last week. By the time you listen to last week's podcast, it was already out.
Yep.
It's Fire Emblem on mobile. It's basically...
How are you liking it so far?
It's one screen, top-down, strategy, turn-based RPG, I guess. Yeah, it's an RPG. You level up, you equip
you level up, you get
gear and skills and stuff.
Yeah.
It's definitely Fire Emblem Light compared to the 3DS games.
Oh, yes.
It's missing a lot of things. It is a free-to-play game.
It is.
It's got randomness with character unlocks and stamina and orbs for unlocking stuff and so forth and all the different systems for grinding.
It uses stamina. So every time you do a battle, it uses stamina, and your stamina is on a timer. So every, I think it's 5 minutes, you get 1 stamina. Is that how that works?
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure.
I've never run out.
No,
actually.
but right now, if you read the notes, during the launch window.
Launch celebration.
Yes.
Or
it's half stamina. So currently, every time you play a map, it's half the stamina that would normally be used.
Yeah, because the campaign stuff definitely...
it doesn't seem overly long. One of my coworkers has finished it already. He said there's 9 chapters.
He said there was 9. Yeah, I think I'm on 6 or 7 now.
I'm on the second one, so...
It's...
And of course, there's a whole random aspect of when you, like you said, when you use your orbs to summon other heroes to your team, it goes from 5 stars down to 1-star heroes. So there's a chance every time you summon a hero, there's a random chance that you'll get a 5-star or a 4-star or a 3-star or a 2-star or a 1-star.
Mm-hmm.
Of any given hero that you're trying to summon.
It's 4-on-4 battles.
Yeah.
So you don't get as big battlefields as the 3DS game. Mm-hmm. You definitely do get the different matchups depending on your weapon type. They have them colored to make things easier for everyone.
Yeah. But red, green, and blue.
Yeah, so you got your swords, lances, axes, and then you've got your ranged or magic, which could be archers or magic or casters, and then there are other specialty classes in there as well, which are
ninjas, and
which are a little different.
Some of them don't have any; some of them are neutral.
Mm-hmm.
But also some of the other thing that they've done that's interesting is some of the spellcasters, some of the mages and stuff, are also color coordinated as well. So, which is kind of interesting.
It's a decent mobile Fire Emblem game. I definitely don't like it as much as the real 3DS games, because there's quite a few features in the 3DS games that I like and don't exist here.
I think a huge part that I feel like is missing is the equipment and stuff that you pick up in the 3DS games.
Yeah.
In a proper Fire Emblem game.
That's not as big a deal, I think. The thing that I wish the battlefields were a little bigger, and I wish you could have more people. It's understandably you could play it with one hand. It's big character icons. I just feel like the squares are a little too big, so the levels don't allow for a lot of options. I feel like they're kind of tight and limited.
Mm-hmm.
So, but whatever. It's a mobile game. It's not the full console version. Obviously, it is still Fire Emblem. I'm playing it. I enjoy it. While I'm playing it, I just wish it had some of the stuff that the main games had, like the team up abilities. Like you team up 2 characters, and then they do like double damage or special attacks. There's no relationship building stuff in this.
It, like you said, it is very much Fire Emblem light. One thing I do appreciate is it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's a good looking game.
I love the high res. I mean, I'm playing it on my Google Pixel, obviously XL, which has got the super 1440 whatever high res screen. It's really pretty. I really appreciate that because let's be honest, the last few Fire Emblem games have all been on a 3DS, which they're not this pretty, that's for sure.
No. It has an anime chibi art style.
Hardcore anime.
But you get big
look to it.
You get big character graphics for your characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good Fire Emblem game, but it's not. I don't think it's a game for everyone. I don't know. I don't play any strategy games on mobiles, so I only can compare it to the full games on 3DS and the home consoles. So it also has an interesting mechanic for unlocking other characters. They give you orbs whenever you play. You complete a chapter or a
You get
story
an orb.
mission, you get an orb. There's a daily login bonus, you get an orb.
Yeah.
So quite quickly, you can get 20 orbs. And what they do is the more character summons you do at once, the cheaper it gets. So it costs 5 orbs to summon a character. So to just summon one character would cost you 5 orbs. But if you decide to save up till you have 20 orbs, you can summon 5 characters. So you get like a bulk discount, which...
the first one is 5, the second one is 4, the third one is 3, then 3, and then the last one is 2, I believe.
Something like that. But yeah,
So.
it's a neat game. You got a castle. So if you don't know, upgrade your castle with a couple of orbs early on.
Right.
Because it only costs like 1 orb, and then you get 20% experience boost. Do it again, then you get 40%.
Yes.
Eventually you get 60% and so forth. The orb cost goes up, but early on that makes obviously a good difference with your experience. I like the game. I just wish there was more, but to be said, it's got a big campaign. It's got a training tower where you can train your guys and earn different kind of, there's crystals and badges you earn, which you can level up your characters. And you can actually upgrade your characters from like 2-star to 3-star and 4-star to 5-star. It is very expensive. And people were complaining. There's a whole other currency called feathers, that you use.
I've gotten a couple of those, wondering like how that works.
The feathers are for when you want to upgrade a character from a 4-star to a 5 or 2 to a 3 or whatever. If you get duplicates of characters, you can merge them.
See, this is one thing that I'm finding interesting. I have a couple characters that I wanted to merge, so I selected them, and then it won't let me merge them. And I have no idea
You can't merge them if they have a little heart on them, if you've got them marked as a favorite.
Oh.
So if you summon characters, I think by default they'll have like a heart on them. So I think you got to go to the edit team screen and then highlight the character and take the favorite heart off of them. It's almost like so you can't accidentally delete them or release them or merge them.
Right.
So if it has a heart, it won't let you merge them. But what I was reading on the internet, it's actually better to send them home because you'll get feathers as opposed to wasting them merging them. Because the boost from merging them isn't as good as getting feathers, because feathers are hard to come by.
Interesting. Okay.
It costs 20,000 feathers to take a 4-star to a 5-star.
Wow,
So
that's a lot of feathers.
This is what people were complaining about online. That is a little crazy.
My first summon, my very first summon that I summoned was a 5-star Roy.
Fuck you. Fuck you and my brother-in-law. I have not gotten a 5-star. I got lots of 4-stars, but I haven't.
My first summon was a 5-star Roy, and my second summon was a 4-star mage.
Yeah, I have a lot of 4-stars, no 5-stars, and I've summoned 3 batches now. I've earned enough orbs.
Okay,
so still no 5-star.
Yeah,
you douchebags in your luck. Yeah, I really like Fire Emblem. There's tons of fan service here, but it's not a game for everybody. I can see what they were doing. It was.
I don't know how long I'll play this, to be totally honest.
No,
with you.
I don't think if you don't have a big connection or love of the Fire Emblem characters, that it probably won't suck you in. I don't think it is a solid. It's designed to be very quick. Like jump in, play a quick match.
That I appreciate, because I like my mobile games to be like that.
It's very, very like mobile centric. They take that into account. The matches are pretty quick. It's nice that if you lose a battle, there isn't a huge cost. You lost stamina. That's about it.
Yeah.
You can use items to heal and retry battles. I haven't bothered. I don't think it's worth it. Maybe when the stamina cost goes up after the launch event. It's done.
Also, I do want to point out that there is there's like daily events that they do.
There's special maps which you're talking about where you can unlock characters every day.
Yeah. Now the kicker with those is that if you lose a character, it's game over, or you use an item to try again. like to revive your character and keep going. So just kind of an FYI. I didn't know that, and I went in and I was doing very well until the last guy I had left, and he killed me, and I was like, what? Because in the normal game, when you're playing the story mode, if a character goes down, that's not a big deal. You just keep playing, and then at the end of it, he's revived, he or she, they're revived at the end of it.
Mm-hmm. In this, you have to do it. It's more like a puzzle. You have to have the right units, and you got to do it in a way that you don't lose any units.
Unless, like I said, unless you are willing to use an item to keep going.
Does that actually continue where the battle was? It doesn't start it over?
It does not start it over. I know because I did it. It actually just revives your character that went down and actually makes all of your other characters have 100% health.
Yeah, I can see right now there's a Gunter event and I tried it, but I went in with the wrong classes and I didn't do it.
I haven't tried the Gunter event.
So there's easy,
today,
there's normal, and then there's hard. So level 5 and 15. Depending on what difficulty you do, you'll either unlock a 1-star or a 2-star, or maybe a 3-star.
Yeah.
A 2-star or a 3-star, sorry. So those are fun. Do those every day. Get your army up. Yeah, it's not terrible. The grind rates, some people are not very happy about. I haven't spent a dime on it.
I haven't either.
I don't think I will. But yeah.
I don't see me doing it either because I'm just not that crazy into it.
Yeah, if you like the grinding and battling and leveling up your guys, I don't know. I like Fire Emblem, so it's a fun little distraction.
Mm-hmm.
For I do like the characters. I do have a lot of love for that universe and stuff. So anyway, but yeah, it's not terrible. It's not amazing. It's not gonna set the world on fire. That's for sure.
No, I'm sure they're gonna make money because I don't.
They
think
already have.
Well, there you go.
I saw a story somewhere that it's done really well already.
I heard that it already made $5 million.
It hasn't been out a week yet.
And it's not been a week yet.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I guess I mentioned earlier I beat Dishonored 2.
Wow. You really played some Dishonored.
So I didn't have much left. I think I had 2 missions left.
Okay.
The story developed pretty. I liked where it went. I enjoyed it. The resolution to the whole conflict wasn't bad.
Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of the end boss. I thought was kind of a little weak, but
oh, that's kind of too bad.
I don't know. Bosses always seem to be annoying. Like they usually break the systems or do something that's really annoying. Bosses are hard, but
I agree with you. I think it's hard to do a good boss because either they're way too big and way too ridiculous, or just way too difficult, or like you said, they break sort of the system that you've been utilizing in a way that is frustratingly maddening, or they just don't really seem to add anything other than it's a boss and it's a video game, so it should have that.
Yeah, it was a pretty good ending. I really liked Dishonored 2. After beating it, there's a new game plus, which they added a little bit after launch. So basically, you start the campaign over again. And I beat the campaign as Emily, so I went back to play it as Corvo, because I wanted to see if he was really different than Dishonored 1, which he wasn't really. He was tweaked.
No, okay.
But in New Game Plus, you can get all the powers. So you can choose Emily's power, so it's almost like a Super Saiyan mode.
Oh,
so they don't just lock it to his characters. You can choose any of the powers. So you can choose powers that she had. You can essentially get all the powers in the game. And it also lets you pick up with all the runes and bone charms you unlocked from your last playthrough. So I imagine doing a couple New Game Pluses, you could just have every power unlocked, and then some.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
So yeah,
I just to play through a few times.
I wanted to see. It's the same game, except for obviously it's Corvo talking. I really like the actor who does Emily's voice. I did the gameplay that I am playing with Corvo right now, I was playing stealthy with Emily, which makes the game a lot more plotting and a little slower. With Corvo, I'm playing it like total high chaos. I'm killing everybody. It's just like
running
it's
through and
total revenge plot. I'm doing stealth murder. I'm like the butcher. Seriously,
Right.
like everyone has wronged me. Like they're all.
I don't care. You're all gonna die.
Everyone's gonna die, and I'm killing everybody. And it plays so different when you're just murdering everybody. Like, because if it breaks out of stealth, I don't run away and hide. I just battle. I just
kill them.
I F everybody up using my powers and combos.
Right.
It's such a different game. It is so different, and you're super powerful. So it feels kind of fun.
Then.
It does feel good. So anyway, I took a break from that, and I'm like, man, I gotta play something else. God damn it, my power just tweaked power better not die. I'll be very angry if we lose power.
I will be angry on both of our behalves.
See, I totally lost my train of thought. I was wondering what to play. Because I can't keep playing Dishonored. I'm like, this has been taking up enough of my time. I kind of get it. It's essentially the same campaign, just different voice grumbling.
Slightly different, whatever.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, what am I going to play? I don't know what I'm going to play. I'm like, I haven't played something on PC. I actually started playing Dishonored 1 again. And I'm like, nah, I can't. Nice. I'm like, I can't play this. I'm like, this feels too much the same.
Too samey after
I'm
just playing that.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, forget it. I'm going to try something else. And I was having a really hard time. Then I was looking at my PS3 and I'm like, oh, I got to finish Resident Evil 7, or I want to finish Resident Evil 7, but I want to only play it in VR. The opportunity didn't really come up.
That makes sense.
And then I'm like, you know what? I got to play something on my Xbox.
Hasn't turned on in a while.
I got an Xbox One S. It's like a redheaded stepchild. I've been playing all my Xbox games on my PC. I just need to play something on my Xbox just for the sake of let's use the Xbox.
Yeah, I have those moments as well.
So I went back to Dead Rising 4 because I barely played it.
Right, I remember you
came out before
a while
Christmas.
Ago. You kind of
there was a million games out, and it's just like, oh man, I just there's too much stuff going on right now.
Yep.
I popped that back in. Well, I didn't pop anything in. It's on my hard drive. I just launched it. And yeah, it's pretty neat. I like Dead Rising. I really like Dead Rising. I feel like it feels very different for some reason. I don't know what it is. It feels different than number 2 or maybe even number 3. I can't remember because 3 was quite a while ago. Well, it wasn't that while ago. It was a launch game on Xbox One. Something about it feels off. I don't know if it's the camera or what. I was messing with it. But it just feels weird. I don't know if it's just really framey or what it is. It just doesn't feel as good. But I'm just ignoring that.
I never really got into the Dead Rising games. So for me, I just heard that 1 and 2... I played the demo for 1 on Xbox 360, and it was kind of amusing, but just didn't really seem like it was my jam. I heard that 2 was really good. 3, I don't know.
2 is a lot of fun.
I think again, by the time 3 came around, I have been so done with the whole zombie thing. And while it kind of looked mildly interesting, it just didn't really do it for me. And 4 is kind of in the same boat. I'm still zombied out. I don't really have any reason.
I don't know how well it's done or anything. I haven't heard anyone talking about it anywhere.
And I feel kind of bad because, I mean, those guys, they are from Vancouver. That studio is here at home for me. And I really want them to do well because I love the fact that they're here and that they're doing stuff. But I don't know. If it's not something that I'm interested in, then it's not something I'm interested in. And I'm not going to play it for the sake of playing it. So
it didn't get very good reviews. I'm just looking online.
It seemed very kind of mediocre, if you will. Some people seem to love it. Some people didn't really seem to be super into it.
Well, not terrible, but
yeah.
70,
I think if
73.
If you were interested in the whole I need to go kill a bunch of zombies and that kind of game, then it might have scratched that itch for you. Yeah. So, I mean, I think in that case, great.
So, basically, I don't know if you played any of the games. You're Frank West again from the first game.
But you're older and more salty.
You're older, salty. You've been hiding out as a teacher, and then you kind of get dragged back into the zombie conspiracy thing. Say it's back in Willamette, Colorado, which is the same city that the first game took place.
Right.
Zombie outbreak happens. Basically, Black Friday. You're in a big giant mall. You're combining random weapons you find in the world to make crazy, weird weapons like sledgehammers with grenades attached, crossbow that shoots exploding fireworks that basically decimates crowds of zombies, combining, those old people stroller thing. What are those things? Scooters. You combine one of those with a go-kart, and then you get like an electrified go-kart that shoots out like electricity,
zaps the zombies.
It's really silly. I'm running around dressed up like the left shark from the Super Bowl last year or the year before or whatever year.
Yeah.
So like I'm in a shark costume, covered in blood, smashing zombies with my giant battle axe, and
right.
The shooting is very loose. It's not very good.
Wasn't the whole in previous Left 4 Dead games, wasn't the shooting kind of not the point of the game? Wasn't it sort of more get in there and get visceral with it?
Yeah, but there's so many guns in this one, and
weird. Oh,
it goes into like a first person shooting mode when you go to shoot, so you would feel like it would be a little tighter. But either way, it's okay. I'm having fun with it, but it's definitely
sometimes it's nice to play a game that's somewhat
brainless,
brain numbing, and you can just get in there and
brain numbing,
do some stuff. Yeah, you don't really have to think about it. Brain numbing.
I don't know. I heard something else. It was anyway. That's it. I'm playing it, and it's just like it's just blowing shit up and killing zombies, and I'm kind of having fun with it. But it's not an amazing game. It's got lots of issues. Like I said, it feels very framey. I don't know if the control definitely feels. I don't remember ever having issues playing the third one, so I don't know if they changed engines or there's just so many more zombies on the screen.
Yeah,
or what. Like I really
could be that. I've heard that. I don't know. I thought I read somewhere that compared to the third one, this one was bigger or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't know. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not amazing.
It's kind of a nice change of pace, is what you're saying.
And I don't know if it has. I was wondering if it had co-op or not, because I think the last game had co-op, but nobody I know owns this game, so I haven't had the ability to figure that out. It's very serious. Like, the story is very serious, which is where the last one was quite silly.
Yeah, and I thought even the first one seemed like it had a very lightness to it.
Yeah, a lot of
where Sam West was kind of
super B-movie.
What the hell is going on? But exactly, very B-movie.
Ash from The Evil Dead kind of vibe.
Right. Cracking jokes and making ridiculous comments and kind of amazed that what the hell is actually happening around him kind of a situation, right?
So that's what I've been playing. I feel like I just got to play something on my Xbox, and that's an exclusive, and that's there, considering that Horizon is around the corner. I'm actually really considering picking up Neo.
That game, after playing the demo, I'm super excited about. That's another game that I was trying to remember in this stupid window that just happened.
Came out yesterday.
Wait. Okay, sorry. I'm thinking of not Neo. I'm thinking of the other one with
with the chick, the Platinum Games one.
Yes.
Nier Automata.
That's the one, Nier. So yes, Neo came out, and that game is getting some crazy good reviews. I'm impressed.
Nier is March 7th. Neo is the Team Ninja Samurai Dark Souls.
Yes, I played the demo of that a while ago.
And got your ass
I think
kicked.
we both did.
I did.
I got my ass kicked a lot.
I never got around to it. I meant to.
Okay.
That's why I'm curious, because I've been hearing so many good things about it on the internet.
I feel like you would probably like it, because you're a big Dark Souls guy.
I'm a Dark Souls guy, so... And I really like the Ninja Gaiden games. Like, they were good. Ninja Gaiden 2.
This felt much more Dark Souls than Ninja Gaiden. But that being said, I also know that they changed the game quite a bit compared to when because it was weird. It was like an alpha. It was like an alpha demo. It was
and they even adjusted.
Demo.
They even adjusted it within the weekend of it being out.
Yeah, it was. They adjusted it quite a bit. So I am kind of curious if it still is the way that it played when I played it, but it was very much. It very much had that Dark Souls vibe to it.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting it on Prime, because there's still a Prime discount for 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I don't get. This is really weird. My wife has Prime.
Right.
I never signed up for Prime, but I'm getting Prime discounts on my account.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Unless they identify that we're on the same address, and it's just like, because Prime in the States, they have Prime Household. So only one person in the house needs to have Prime, and everyone in your house can take advantage of it. So maybe that's come to Canada because Amazon Video came to Canada. Maybe they just didn't announce anything. Because I sure as hell did not sign up for a trial or anything with Prime. And it's like...
Maybe they can tell... Well, no, because you wouldn't be using the same IPs and stuff.
Well, it would be. Our modem would have one IP on the outside.
Yeah, I could tell it. You're both... Yeah, interesting. I don't know. It's interesting.
I have no idea. Manage Prime. I'm looking at it now. No, it says I'm on a free trial, but I never signed up for a free trial.
Maybe you just buy a lot of shit, and they were like, "Hey, we should give this guy a free trial. He buys a lot of shit."
That's weird. I didn't sign up for a free trial.
That happens to me sometimes. Get a bunch of free crap just because they're hoping you'll come back and buy some stuff.
Yeah. Well, good thing I checked.
Speaking of, actually,
that's annoying. I got really excited for a second there.
My PlayStation Plus subscription actually expired, and I haven't re-upped here in a second.
I went to. It was funny. I renewed it. I think around Boxing Day.
Yep.
It's gone up in price. What is it, like $69 or $79 now?
Yeah. I was a little bit choked about that, but
check Best Buy.
I still think the value is really good.
Check Best Buy, because if you find the 12-month cards on their racks,
is it still the same price?
Still have the old price. That's what they sell it for. So okay. I got it for the non-raised price, like just recently. So that's a tip for anyone. I don't know if it shows online at that price. Probably not. But yeah, if you go into the store, it was on the rack, and I'm like, wait a second, that's the old price, which is like $20 less.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I'll have to check that out.
And then I picked it up, and I'm like, sweet, because they can't really.
I just haven't been playing.
I'm looking right now,
$49
available at nearby stores. Not sold online, but I'm sure they have the new, more expensive one online.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
There's too many games coming out.
I know, that's the thing. But I also know that there are some PlayStation Plus things happening soon that I do want to get in on.
Like For Honor? Oh, man.
Like I said, I might...
I don't know if I'm going to get For Honor. I'm still on the fence. I liked what I played. I'm just wondering what the campaign length is like. Mm-hmm. I don't think any of my friends are going to get it, so I'm not really going to have anyone to play that with.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me.
Do I want it on console,
I'm in a similar
or do I want it on PC? I kind of feel like I kind of want it just on PS4.
I'm in a similar boat, but I'm having a hard time right now because every time I go to play something on PS4...
Oh, yeah. Somebody's using the PS4.
My wife is playing Stardew Valley. She's into year 3 now.
What? I haven't even finished my first year.
Yeah, she's into year 3. She has Last I remembered seeing, she had $437,000 in the bank.
What the fudge? How does she have so much money?
She's unlocked a lot of stuff. She has her greenhouse all done now.
What?
She's going to the desert and getting all kinds of cool stuff.
I'm like looking at the stuff I need to get the greenhouse, and it's like, okay, I fucked that up. I don't have money for that. This is like, I can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel for unlocking that shit.
Oh man, my greenhouse, I am one item away from unlocking my greenhouse.
Cause that's good for the winter, right?
Yeah, you can grow. Well, what's cool about the greenhouse is that seasons don't count in there. So if you get, say, for example, strawberries, you can actually plant those in the greenhouse and they will grow there all year. And you can just keep picking them all year long.
That's how you make a lot of money.
Also, she's got like a freaking winery going on, man.
What?
She's got so many kegs now. She's making wine every day. She's making beer. She's making various kinds of wine. She's got in her greenhouse, she's rocking coffee and strawberries and then star fruit. So she went to the desert. She got a shit ton of star fruit. She's also got a seed multiplier thing now where you put the fruit or vegetables into the seed multiplier and it creates seeds out of them. So she went to the desert. She bought a bunch of starfruit from, I think, 5 starfruit seeds. Then she grew them. And then when they came out and she got the starfruit from them, she put a bunch of them into her thing.
She just made seeds out of them.
And she just made a bunch more seeds out of them. So now she's got like 50 starfruit seeds. And every time she plants a bunch, she just makes a bunch more seeds, and so she's not having to buy any. She's doing that with so much of her stuff now.
What level do you get that? I don't even have the thing to me. That must be from farming level, higher level farming.
I think it's farming or foraging. I'm not sure which one exactly, but
man. Okay, we gotta stop talking about Stardew.
So, needless to say, right now, my PlayStation 4 is kind of
it's gone. You don't have
off
one.
limits. Like I was half joking the other day. I'm like, I'm gonna need to get a PS4 Pro just so I can put it in my office so I can play PS4 games.
That's funny.
I can't because you're always playing Stardew Valley.
Yeah. So let's get into the news.
Yeah, we got a bunch of news this week.
E3 tickets. The news. I'm like jumping ahead of you. E3 tickets on sale to the public this year. It is 15,000 tickets for $149 each. Oh,
I want to tell you right now,
that's the first 1,000 or early bird, and then the rest will sell for $250. So that's for 3 days.
Do you know what E3 needed more of?
More people?
Yeah, totally needed more people. Said nobody that has ever gone to E3 ever.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's definitely dropped from the height of its numbers. So,
well, I think like we've talked about before, there was a time when E3 was the holy grail. I mean, I wanted to go to E3 so bad.
It's really exciting. A lot of people that want to go are going to get to check it out. Obviously, I've talked about this. I've been to E3 a lot. Like,
lucky bastard.
I can't remember how many times I've gone. At least, I think 7 times.
Right.
E3's cool. Every other time I went in under the credentials of my when I ran the video game store, it was really cool, but lineups were brutal. And this was still kind of more before Twitch and all this shit existed. So you really had to go there for the access to see the stuff.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of hands-on, which still isn't the case. There's closed door stuff. See, that's the problem.
But unless you're IGN or GameSpot
that's the problem with
Polygon,
E3. It's going to be awesome for people to go there and
see the spectacle.
And see the spectacle. But it's going to be a lot of lines. Because without appointments and media access, you're going to spend a whole day trying to get into the Nintendo booth to play whatever new Nintendo thing is. You're going to spend 3 hours to go into a lineup and ended up just watching a trailer that they showed the night before at the press conference, and you're going to be like, what the hell? You might get some neat swag. It is, E3 is really cool. It's something to be seen if you've never gone. Having gone to E3 though, PAX is way better. PAX is so much cooler.
We've talked about before. I think PAX, it's that access to the developers. It's that access to all of everybody,
yes
right?
And no. PAX is access to developers. Us, not for everyone, but...
No, but I mean, a lot of the people that are showing off their games at PAX, those are the guys that are developing and creating the games.
And that's the cool thing about E3, but you're not going to get that as a public attendee.
Right.
You're not going to get the closed door demo with the lead, game director. You know what I mean? That's quite common at E3. You're playing with, this is the head. This is the producer. This is the director of the game. This is the gameplay designer. These are the guys. This is the guy that made this
He's
fucking
the one.
game.
He's thinking this shit up.
You're sitting there playing these games with, holy crap, like, you're the guy who created this character. You created this universe. That's amazing. That's really cool, but that's not the experience that everyone gets, right? And E3 is unreal for that. I had some pretty awesome meetings. I met really cool people. Unforgettable moments. It's awesome. But I was there as media, so very different compared to the times I wasn't media. And I still had fun. Don't get me wrong. I still had fun when I wasn't media going to E3. I went like 5 times as just a regular attendee only badge, which is essentially what people are going to be buying. And we loved it. Like, we went there, and then we go to Disneyland, and we go to Six Flags, and go do a bunch of other stuff since we're in LA, and it's just like this wicked gaming convention. So it's really cool. I honestly, we've talked about it. I think I've said E3 should go public and sell badges. The other big thing I really think E3 should do is they need to add a 4th media only day. And then add more public spots. Like 15,000 isn't a lot. I really think they should. If they had,
I'm amazed at how expensive they were. They were not cheap. Well, $150 for a day.
PAX isn't cheap. PAX is like $140 now.
Yeah, that's for all 4 days. This was $150 for a day.
No, it's not. It's for the whole thing. It's for all 3 days.
I thought it was $250 for
No. That's
2 days.
Early bird for $150 for 1,000 passes.
Oh,
and then
I
$250 for everyone else. Those are going to I guarantee you this, those are going to sell super fast.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That server's going down because there's so many people that E3 is like their bucket list. Like, they want to go to E3.
Absolutely.
I want to go.
Like I said, I wanted to go to E3 my whole life.
I want to go to E3 again, except for, like, when I went by myself in 2013, it was fucking amazing. I had an awesome time. Like, I hung out with really cool people. I have some amazing memories from that trip. I made a lot of cool contacts to this day, which, are the people that give us access to whenever we go to PAX. I feel it's like, cause they saw my face at E3, that's where some of the doors opened up for us. We're quite small time, but it was worth going. But at the same time, it's really expensive. Like, if we lived in California,
so hard for not going to that.
Like, if we had a hookup for somewhere to stay, I'd go every year. But like, to be honest, like, PAX it's expensive, but not that expensive.
Yeah, especially if you take a couple of guys and split it up between 3 or 4 people.
It's worth the price of admission, but like E3 is like 2-3 times the cost.
Yeah,
and it's a much bigger trip for us because we're not close. We're like a 5-hour flight away. It's car rentals. It's the biggest thing is the hotel's so expensive to stay near there. Like, we could stay far away, but then you have to rent a car and yeah, it gets
it's a whole thing. It gets super
pretty pricey. And then, like, to be honest, when I went, it was cool because that was the year the Xbox One and the PS4 came out. So that was the first hands-on. So I didn't get to play a lot of games because, like I said, a lot of it is demos, which you could just see from home in high definition in the comfort of your underwear,
without standing in a line, dealing with smelly other nerds.
But playing, sorry. But playing with the PS4 controller in my hand and seeing the Xbox One, like seeing the hardware, touching the hardware, that was really freaking cool. Obviously, there's no console launches for E3 this year, so that's not really an experience that you would have there. So it's just going to be getting to see some of the games firsthand in these PS4 and Xbox One generations, which are they're getting along now with, really getting to know these systems and launching some really impressive titles that are taking advantage of these consoles' power. I guess Scorpio will be there. But
that would be my guess. I mean, I would think that they would be showing off Scorpio at E3 and then getting ready to launch in the fall, right?
They're obviously going to have an event before E3 to reveal it, but I'm sure hands-on will be at E3. So that'd be kind of cool, but it's going to be an Xbox One controller, really. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy. It's just an evolution, right?
Yeah.
If E3 was just cheaper, I'd love to go again.
Like I said, it's one of those things that I've always wanted to go to. But it's funny though, as time goes on, I kind of want to go to it less and less every year. It's weird. When growing up for me, it was that holy grail. Mm-hmm. As a nerd, it was that closed show that I could never get to.
When I went,
it was industry only.
When
it
I
was
snuck
all
my way in,
down.
when I snuck my way into the first E3 I went to, 1999. God damn it, I'm fucking old. That's a really long time ago. That's a really long time ago. That makes me very sad.
But the thing is that nowadays when they're offering it to the public and stuff, it starts making me think, should I don't know, it definitely makes it less of that white whale for me, and I'm a lot of ways becoming more happy to go to PAX.
Yeah, because I've been
all the stuff
both.
That they show in closed doors or on screens at E3, I get to play hands-on at PAX instead.
Absolutely. And we know that because I've been to both, right? Like I went to E3. Yes, I got to see the controllers and play some games, but half the games were just in theaters. They were demos. I didn't get to play them. Again, still really fucking cool. But at PAX, I was playing the games that I was staring at a screen that I paid, $2,500 for a hotel and to fly down to E3.
Oh, yeah.
No swag, no panels, no real, PAX lasts until midnight. E3's done. E3's done at 5 o'clock.
Right.
E3 is very industry clicky. If you don't know anyone, you're sitting in those long lines. It's not as inclusive and as fun and easygoing as PAX is. PAX is so happy, and everyone's happy to be there. And at E3, sometimes you get a little bit of arrogance from the publishers. It's just like, fucking trade show. They seem bothered, by having to put up with all this shit, No one wants to be there. They're all tired. They're pissed off. It's a very different vibe. It is still really fucking cool, but because I've seen both sides, right? The press conferences are awesome. The press conferences are awesome, but you stream it at home just as good. You see everything I see, except for I paid $2,500 to say I was there.
Yeah.
And then we go to PAX and it costs a fraction less and we have more access. We have even cooler stories. Seattle's beautiful. Downtown LA, there's nothing to do. There's a couple restaurants in LA Live, but you're in downtown LA. It's fucking gross. It's, if you extend your trip, you pat on Disneyland and you go to Santa Monica. Oh yeah,
for sure. Then it's
you
totally
go do
worth
some
it.
Cool stuff and you help justify the whole trip. Don't get me wrong. I want to go to E3 again. I'm going to go to E3 again. I already talked about my electric car driving down there trips that are going to happen. I'm going to go again. We can go. You go tell me if you're going to save some money. If you're going to save some money one year, we can go. We can make it happen.
Yeah, once I get rid of some of this, I just had a wedding debt. It's something I have to do, I think.
Hey, if any listeners out there of our whole couple hundred, if you live in LA and want to put us up for an E3, you're more than welcome to invite us. We'll gladly crash on your couch.
Or floor.
That will take a huge sting out of it. Even better if you work at frickin' the Marriott in LA and could just hook us up, even better.
Ooh.
But hey, man, your couch is cool too.
Exactly. I'd be fine with that.
So that's cool. I really wish they had a media day, and I wish PAX had a media day.
That would be cool if they
Because
had
to
a
be
whole
quite
day.
honest,
That
if
would be
they had like Tokyo Game Show has a media day, so all the media goes and sees their stuff in one day, and then they F off, and that's thousands of people that aren't like on the show or taking up time or space. And
it makes sense. I would love it.
Frees
that would be awesome.
It frees up consoles. It frees up terminals. It frees up workers to deal with, just having the public there enjoying it. I don't know. It seems brainless, especially the amount of money that they spend, to put these conventions together. They're so effing expensive.
Oh, it's insane how much money is spent.
Like, really, how much extra is it costing to have one extra day, for the business side of stuff to get shit done?
Yeah, well, and I guess that's partly why the bigwigs and the big media people are there the week before to see a lot of stuff and do the whole rewards and awards and judging and things like that, right?
But yeah, I
think that if you're super cool and with the big enough site, then that's what you do. And if you want, you don't even have to stick around for the actual E3 much past a day or two, right?
Yeah, it's cool. A lot of people that have been dreaming to go to E3 are going to get to go. You don't need to start a podcast or falsify a bunch of documents to pretend that you're in the industry. It really isn't that hard.
Yeah.
The first couple times I went, I ran the video game store. And then in between, I didn't work in the industry anymore. So don't E3 people, if you're listening, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. I may or may not have fudged some documentation not really. Let's say my new job is industry related, but it is kind of a stretch. They didn't say no, they let me in. So, hey,
Yeah, there you go.
There's no harm in trying. What's the worst that can happen? They say no, right?
Mm-hmm. No, it's true.
I think they're a little better now. I don't know. I was really sad last year when I got approved for my E3 media badge and I just couldn't go because I was having a baby.
Oh, I know. That was the worst.
I was like, oh.
Well, and the 1 year that I could go, it happened so quickly, and there's a little part of me that kind of wishes I would have just said screw it and went, but.
PS4 just had the best 3 months ever.
I'm not surprised.
It sounds like gangbusters.
Doing super awesome between PSVR and Christmas and the games that they got dropping on that thing. It does not surprise me one bit. And also the PS4 Pro too.
October, November, December, 9.7 million PlayStation 4s were sold.
Wow.
So there's like an estimated 55 million, I think.
Almost. We're getting close to they announced, when was it, the beginning of January, that they were at 52 million, I want to say?
Up to 57.1 million units. Jesus. Wow. They're doing great.
That's crazy for the amount of time that they've had this thing on the shelf. They're doing very well.
Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, the console business is dead.
Yeah, I really hope that by iterating with the PS4 Pro and the Scorpio that they don't kill the goodwill that people have done with them. But only time will tell. So. We'll see.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So PS4 update 4.5 was detailed.
Dude.
Since we're talking about PlayStation, that's why I bring this up. External hardware or hard drive support, which a lot of wieners have been bitching about.
I'm not gonna lie, this makes my life super easy.
It makes everyone.
Do you know how many hard drives, man, I can get a hold of from work that I could stick in an enclosure, and it honestly makes my life so much easier. I could come home tomorrow with
I've got the same
1 terabyte hard drive, and it would be so easy just to stick it in an enclosure.
Compatible with up to 8 terabyte in size USB 3 external hard drive. Save files are still stored locally on the internal hard drive.
That's fine.
There isn't
Usually
a lot
your
of
saves aren't all that big.
There isn't a lot of information on how it works with if you can take your hard drive to another machine or whatnot, but whatever.
Oh.
We'll learn.
I know
the
that you
nitty.
can also use it for backups and stuff too, which is really nice.
You've always been able to do that.
Yeah.
But man, backing up a PS4 when you get into the terabytes of data, or the gigs of data, takes a long time. So I have an internal 2 terabyte in mine because I updated mine. But actually putting an internal drive, you gotta put the firmware on a USB drive. You gotta start from scratch and lose everything, and then you gotta transfer your saves back, like your data, your backup back to it, which takes hours, like 10, 12 hours. Obviously, it takes
not fast.
Takes less time than downloading it all, but yeah, for some people, I could see how that could be a pain in the ass. Just plugging it in is quite easy. It's kind of
for sure.
Kind of nice. I got a bunch of terabyte drives lying around, which I don't need space, but when I do, just boop. It'll be interesting to see if the external drive is faster. I'm sure people will figure that out.
Well, I mean, you're going to be limited to the USB 3. Though, which is it's not going to be as fast as the internal SATA. So, that right there is going to limit you. But
because
yes,
the PS4 Pro, they added SATA 3. That's right.
They did on the PS4 Pro, but even not going SATA 3, you're still looking at some pretty quick. SATA is still going to be faster than USB 3. So,
custom wallpapers, simplified notification list. 3D Blu-rays on PlayStation VR. There's something.
Dude, I'm super excited about that. That is going to be awesome.
I will check it out. I think I have a couple 3D.
I have a few 3D movies. I'm totally going to check that out.
Something
I think that would be really good.
Don't talk about here is in the beta. I don't know if it was NDA'd or what. They don't talk about it on the PlayStation blogs link. There's a boost mode included in the 4.5 firmware. Whether it comes to,
that's to the PS4 Pros.
Yeah.
And the idea is that it helps
unpatched games.
Increase the performance in games that were showing that they were not running as quickly on the PS4 Pro because they were unpatched. So it allows, but they also said at least in those cases, it's also said that it may cause some weirdness. So if you notice that your game is all effed up, then please disable that mode and it'll go back to normal.
There's a bunch of rumblings whether that's going to come out or not, whether it's going to get more testing, but there's definite video proof out there now of games running a lot better, like Bloodborne. Just Cause 3 apparently is a whole other game.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
How the improvements are so... That's cool. That's pretty awesome. That makes me happy about having a Pro.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hopefully they release that feature, because that would be nice.
I feel like that's definitely kind of a feature that
definitely justifies it, right?
Yeah, and I think that they just got to be a little bit careful, I think, because, of course, if it does screw some things up, then I think they need to... I think maybe why they don't push this out or talk about it is they need to figure out what kind of size they're looking at as far as how many games this will affect out in the wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got to kind of do some rough testing to figure out okay, 80% of the games are fine, but maybe there's 20%. Is that acceptable for us to release
I imagine
it?
if they just have
an
auto off on it if a game doesn't work, that's the solution. So
yeah, because the only time that you're really going to notice issues like that is when it's tied to physics and things where it's expecting the processor or the GPU to be running at a specific speed, and all of a sudden now all the physics are broken and things because the CPU or the GPU is running faster than it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
So
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though. That seems like a really exciting system software update.
Final Fantasy 15's worst chapter gets fixed next month.
I haven't played it yet.
February 21st. So
wow,
I'll have 7.
So is that the chapter 13?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other stuff too.
Okay.
But yeah, so
so essentially they're getting ready to release that.
I'll have a week to beat Final Fantasy 15 before Horizon comes out.
That seems like not a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
I don't know how far in you are, but that seems like not a lot of time.
Not going to happen.
That game seems real big.
Remember when we were talking about GameStop and their Circle of Life program? There's a bunch of follow-up stories. GameStop wrote their employees, and I think they wrote Kotaku and said, our employees are not doing this stuff, or they shouldn't be, but
of course they're going to say
and
that.
then a lot more employees came out and were like, no, because these aggressive quotas, people are doing this shit, whether they admit to it. Of course, they're obviously not told to do it. But when you set up,
and they're not going to admit to it either, because
when you set
they need the job.
When you set up metrics that affect someone's like livelihood with the looming threat of you have to meet these metrics, well, guess what? People are going to they're going to pull out all stops and do what they got to do to meet the metrics.
Yeah, they're going to, exactly. They're going to try and do anything they can to keep their job.
So, yeah, good job, GameStop. You just made all your employees even more slimy. That's shitty. Fuck.
And to come out and say like the vast majority of our employees aren't. I guess they have to say something.
I'm gonna go on a little rant right now. It's this fucking corporate culture. Some asshole pencil pusher fuck who's never lifted a finger in their day came up with a great idea of micromanaging metrics for every aspect of employees' jobs. So not only do we want to look for a reason to fucking outsource your job, like if we don't have to have you, we don't want to have you.
Right.
Like if we could replace you with a robot, we would. If we could automate your job by a computer, we will. Is the first step. And then if they can't do that, they want to micromanage every aspect by putting metrics that are like impossible to meet. And just really, this is not just GameStop. This is like every big, like, if a company's on the stock market and reporting to shareholders, kind of seems like this is like a thing that's happening in all kinds of big companies. And it's infuriating. It's not take care of your customers and treat your employees good. It's just micromanage sales and growth and bullshit to a ridiculous level. Make everyone fucking miserable and hate their lives and hate their jobs. Make customers hate your business. Like that's what they don't see. There's no metric for the dissatisfied customers you're creating and the shitty experience you're creating by making all your employees do all this bullshit. It's just
all they see is the fact that so and so took too long on this, or so and so
you
spent
didn't
too much
make
time
this,
doing
you didn't
that,
make the
or
sale,
whatever.
you didn't sell the product that we're pushing this week because of the Coke commercial, or I don't know why I say Coke, but you're not pushing this product because whatever bullshit endorsement or whatever stupid email fucking campaign
we should
we
be
have
selling
going
this
on,
many Fallout 4 copies
whatever,
because they're doing a big ad campaign right now.
It's really stupid. Instead of having just, hey, you're a good employee, people are happy, you're doing your job well, and you love your job, that's not good enough. You have to be micromanaged to squeeze out as much cash out of every cow that comes in that door. Like, it's just gross. It's really gross. It really pisses me off, this corporate
It's just
bullshit.
greed.
It's just gross, but it's like in every business. It's like this new mantra, or like, it's this new style of business that I've just noticed creeping in the last couple of years, and it's getting into all big companies. They're doing this for like everyone, even for roles that aren't even customer facing and have no reason to have like stuff like this. Employees are being like, like, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. It's just like, okay, am I doing my job? Am I doing it well? That's not good enough nowadays. It's really sad. Pisses me off.
Oh, it's super frustrating.
Fuck CEOs.
So now that that's out of the way, tell us how you really feel, Rick.
Pokemon Go surpasses $1 billion.
That is gross.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, I guess they're still rolling out in some countries, right?
Yeah. For such a shitty game, that's insane.
That's...
like, it's a good, shitty game. No, it's just a shitty game.
I'm trying to remember the last time I loaded it up. It's been a while.
I played it at Christmas because I wanted a Pikachu with the Christmas hat, but it's a fucking terrible game.
I didn't manage to find one.
It's a fucking
My wife got one.
It has a lot.
It had so much potential, and I feel like they squandered it for me. Like, maybe in another 6 or 8 months or a year, I'll probably load it up and it'll be a totally different game and maybe be great. But by then, I probably won't even have it installed.
There's a lot of fucking suckers in the mobile marketplace, is what that $1 billion fucking tells me.
A lot of people buying Pokeballs instead of hitting Pokestops.
Because it's like you'd think that $1 billion translates to it being a good game. No, that translates it into it being a super shitty, pay to win, disgusting mobile monetized game. Like, it was fun, but if you played the real Pokemon games, it's a shit Pokemon game.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna lie, I've spent way too much time on Pokemon Go, but I haven't given them $1.
Yeah.
Had it been a good game, I would have maybe spent money. The only reason I got sucked into it and played it as much as I did is because I'm a little OCD and I have issues with collecting stuff. So it got me there. Thank God I didn't spend any money, because that would be rewarding them for the bad game. Some people can argue and say, well, if they had you addicted and you were playing it because this and that.
Well, it's in a way they did get money out of you, though, because you bought one of those Bluetooth dongle thingies that strap around your wrist and catch Pokemon when you're out and about.
That is true, but that was produced by Nintendo, so that money went to Nintendo. So that was a Nintendo accessory. But yes, okay. I guess you can say they fucking got me. Fuck you, Pokemon Go.
Is that really much better, though? I mean, you're...
$1 billion, you assholes.
Helping Nintendo with their bad behavior?
$1 billion. That's gross. You make a shitty
a lot of money.
Mobile game, you can make $1 billion.
It's a lot of money.
Man, those guys better have had good Christmas frickin' bonuses. Or just one fucking person got it all, which wouldn't surprise me, because it's just a fucking gross, stupid... Now I'm all angry about companies and bullshit corporate greed.
Rico's rants.
So apparently someone figured out how to play Steam games on your PlayStation VR.
I'm not surprised by this.
Yeah, it's
over
all
USB and HDMI. It makes sense.
So there's an app. You can hook it up to your PC. I didn't do it.
I didn't bother either.
It would be interesting, I guess. I don't have.
Well, it's not.
It
like
ain't plug
really
and play,
playing...
so I don't have the fucking time to figure it out. But
no, and it's also not.
It's a seriously
games.
handicapped version of a VR headset.
Yeah, it's not like you're playing VR games on Steam. You're playing Steam games in PSVR, which you could kind of already do in a way using the breakout box and the way that it's set up. It kind of works like that. So I don't know. It's cool though, and I'm glad to see that people are messing with it, and I love seeing stuff like that, because eventually it always blows my mind how well some of that stuff works. And after a while that people have been messing with it and developing for it, it always throws me the ingenuity of other people and how they'll take something that was never designed for something and make it do things that are really cool that it didn't do before.
Yeah.
And I feel like PSVR, I could totally see PSVR all of a sudden, a year from now or whatever, you're actually able to play Oculus games or Vive games on it or something like that, because people have messed with it as much like that. And I think that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I think it's a cool starting period, and I think it's a neat place where it's going. It's just not there yet.
Those PC guys, they'll get there.
Oh yeah.
If anything, they can freaking force anything to do anything they want.
Enough time and hanging out and figuring stuff out.
I deleted a couple stories because I didn't want to talk about them. If you notice them, go away. We're getting a little
Fair enough.
We're getting a little long, and I don't want to tempt this effing storm too much longer. We got a couple more things to talk about. Netflix is working on a Castlevania series. Is it pretty interesting? I really like Castlevania games.
I'm really actually excited about this. I read this and it made me happy. I got a big grin on my face and I went, you know what? If anybody I feel like is going to do a good job with this, I think it's probably going to be Netflix, and I could see it being really cool. If they put a proper budget towards it and they get a good writer, I think it has the potential to be really neat.
So the producer from Dread, which I thought was a great movie.
I loved the last Dread movie. That movie's rad.
The writer,
especially in 3D.
Warren Ellis, wrote Iron Man, is written the first season.
He's also a massive comic book writer. Warren Ellis has written so many incredible comic books. So
So the intention to flip the vampire subgenre on its head.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like Castlevania. Actually, I didn't talk about it in our What You've Been Playing, but I was playing some when I was screwing around with the Xbox. I'm like, oh yeah, Symphony of the Night is on this thing on backwards compat. So I started playing.
I got it on mine too.
I started playing some Symphony of the Night. That's interesting. Later this year, that'll be cool. We'll see. Hopefully they do a good job. Sounds like
I'm
the people,
excited to see what happens, and I hope they don't screw it up.
Sounds like the people that are involved are really excited, and it's like, you know, pet project, love project, something they want to do, not something that's just been come across their desk. It's something they have like a passion for. So usually those types of projects turn out pretty good.
Yeah.
I.e. see Deadpool.
The more passion, yeah, exactly. Passion projects, man. I feel like for niche things like this, you need to have people that are passionate about them. Otherwise, they don't really work very well. And I think that, yeah, like we said, Deadpool and a few other things that have come out in the last while sort of show that. So
that's it for news. Public service announcements. Titanfall or Attack on Titan.
Tell me more.
Season 2, April 1st. Yes. Super excited.
That's awesome.
Man, that was...
Do we have any idea where it's coming to? Is this going to be just
I'm
the big...
sure it'll be in Japan starting April 1st.
Okay. So this hasn't said the English translation is not April 1st? I thought the English I thought it was coming out in Japan it'll be January or something.
It'll be... Funimation confirmed Season 2 will air April 1st.
Oh, if it's Funimation, then that's... the English translation.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. We'll have to wait until April 1st. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is in Japan. It doesn't really say anything about English or Japanese. I'm pretty sure it's not out in Japan, because if it was out in Japan, I would have already watched it, because when I watched it, it wasn't available here. I watched it on Crunchyroll, which was subbed. I watch it with English subs. I didn't watch the English. Is there even an English dub now?
I have no idea. I never watch my anime with an English dub. I always watch it subbed.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure it'll be on Crunchyroll. So let's see. Titan 2, there's a story here. Simulcast of Season 2 scheduled to launch April 1st.
Yeah.
Simulcast.
I believe that...
Oh, I
believe that's going to be...
I'm going to guess that's going to be English as well, then.
Yeah.
Huh. So, where do you find Funimation? Do they have their own streaming thing, or are they on Crunchyroll?
I believe they do have their own streaming thing,
This is a Crunchyroll blog news story. Oh, well, we'll figure it out. April 1st. I'm going to be watching it somewhere.
We got time to figure it out.
That was a great series.
That was a great series.
Freaking OD'd on that season 1. I watched it in like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, it was great.
20-something episodes.
Yeah, I think it was 24.
Holed up in a hotel room.
That was great.
That's it for public service announcements. Free for all. I mentioned last week that I got my 4K HDMI switch.
Yes.
2.2.
That's still working out awesome for
2.0 switch, 2.2. I hadn't had an opportunity to hook it up last week. So it's called the Switch Deck by Sewell. I'm sure if you do a search, you can find it. I think it was $69 or $79 American for a 5-in, 1-out 4K HDR 2. Whatever.
It's 2.0. It's HDCP 2.2, but it's HDMI 2.0.
Whatever. Okay.
Which is what you want, because they haven't fully released HDMI 2.1 yet.
So yeah, it works great. It auto switches. I have my Xbox in it. I have my PS4 Pro in it. I have my Wii U in it. So I have everything on one input on my TV now. I have my PC in it. I haven't tried any PC games in HDR yet, which I was meaning to, because I got a new...
Come on, man. Get on.
I had a 4K compatible HDMI run through the floor. I had to get a longer 4K 18 gigabits one, which I ran through the floor the other day. Oh, man.
Fair enough.
Did a bunch of cable management and strapping this switch to the bottom of my entertainment stand. And, man, it was a lot of work. On the plus side, I routed my PlayStation camera cord through the wall so it's not dangling now looking like crap. And I also I hooked up my VR breakout box like on the side of my entertainment stand using like a mount. So now I have my cables all wrapped up and I have more cable. I'll have to put a picture on Twitter. It's really cool what I did. Anyway, Switch is great. But one thing I'm super annoyed about, I'm getting really fed up with the PS4 Pro and its goddamn HDMI issues. I know I've complained about this before when I got it because I never had issues with the PlayStation 4, the regular version.
Right.
But man,
what issues are you having now besides your RGB issue that you had last week?
Okay, yeah. Did I talk about that? The snow last week, which I figured out, which is really annoying because the PS4 Pro says it supports that with my TV. Clearly it doesn't, because why is there a weird artifacting?
Here's my question. Is it your TV or is it the PS4 Pro?
It's the PS4 Pro. Because I have HDR and 4K on the Xbox One, and it doesn't do anything.
But are you doing RGB?
Yes. It supports it as well. Actually, I had to turn it off on my PS4, and it still has the issues. So it has nothing to do with the color gamut that it's outputting. It's just, I think it's HDCP errors. It's just fucking handshaking. It's goddamn copy protection. Fuck you, Hollywood, and everyone else that's involved with HDCP, because it's fucking garbage. It is so shit. So what happens is you'll be playing a game. Remember how I was saying I would get snow?
Yeah, you're saying
it changed from snow. So I'd have to turn the TV off and back on, and then I'll get my picture back.
Right.
Not ideal when you're in the middle of a raid in Destiny or in the middle of a mission on Dishonored. Now it doesn't do the snow. It just goes black screen. I get no picture. And then it comes back.
Okay.
And then no picture, and then it won't happen for like hours. But when it happens, it's just, fuck, why does it fucking happen, you fucking piece of shit?
Are you 100% sure that that's your PS4
it's
though,
the goddamn
TV,
Pro.
Man?
It's the goddamn Pro. I've tried different inputs. I've tried different cables. The PS4 Pro is the only thing that does it. My 4K box doesn't do it. My Xbox One S doesn't do it. Same input on the same TV. Same cables. I've swapped cables. It's the PS4 Pro. I'm not an idiot when it comes to this. I'm not saying implying. Trust me. I thought it. You know, if it was the TV, all devices would do it. If I moved that cable from one to the other, it would do it.
It would be the cable.
The only thing, it's the PS4. Because
I'm wondering then, is it the PS4
It's the fucking Pro. It's the goddamn Pro. It's something to do with HTCP. I've seen the errors, like the type of shit that HTCP errors do.
Right.
And I know it's the goddamn PS4 Pro, and I know it's HTCP. It did it before I bought the Switch. It did it after the Switch. It's doing the exact same stuff. I've even bought new 4K 18 gigabit cables. Like I've tried even other different cables, which I know are 4K 18 gigabit compatible. And like I said, none of my other devices do it. Nothing else does it. It's
just weird that it wasn't doing it before.
No, it's always been doing it. It's been doing it ever since I got the Yeah, it's been doing it ever since I got the PS4 Pro. That's why I said.
I'm wondering.
I didn't bitch about it as much, but it fucking is annoying. I'm
just wondering if you got a bad PS4 Pro is what I was going to say.
I don't know, because I did searches.
I'd be half wondering if you I mean, obviously, either if you know somebody that has one.
I've done searches.
Borrow it and
I've done searches on
pull it over
YouTube. I've done searches on YouTube, and I know people have had
same TV or
not the same issues. They've had even different issues, like weird colors showing up on their TVs, like all kinds of crazy shit going on, like even weirder and worse than mine.
Okay.
But I know it's the goddamn PS4 Pro.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a bad system. Maybe it's a bad system. I don't know. I guess I could reach out to freaking Sony, but I don't know like now when that came out in November, I think I'm over the freaking 90 days now. It's like, fuck you. I'm really annoyed.
But it would still be under warranty. If you can prove that it was your PS4 Pro, I mean, they could at least. It would be a hassle, but at least you could get it fixed.
Maybe this is something that might be like one of those undocumented fixes when 4.5 comes out.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Hopefully. I mean, we could hope. Or you may end up in a situation where I had with my Samsung Galaxy where you're hoping for that update that's going to fix it, and then it never happens.
Yeah,
I'm going to realize
I'm going to get the wheels spinning on getting a hold of Sony.
Right.
And see what happens there. Maybe there's a fix in 4.5. But man, it's super fucking annoying. Because my old PlayStation 4 never did it. Same TV, same cables.
Right.
It's clearly something to do with the Pro.
Yeah, that's annoying. Does it only do it during HD or
just playing games? I don't watch Blu-ray. I don't watch Blu-rays.
No, I meant, does it only do it when you're watching or using the... I'm having like a total brain fart. The high definition or the HDR stuff. Does it only do it during that, or
I don't know, because I don't think Dishonored has HDR.
Okay.
It has 4K output. I know that much.
Right.
So I don't know if it's something to do with 4K output or HDR. Destiny doesn't have 4K or HDR, and it would black out on Destiny when I played Destiny.
Right.
It never did it during Resident Evil, so I don't know. I feel like I don't know if like it happens all the time with Dishonored 2. Like so, definitely. I don't know if it's something to do when it's outputting 4K. So maybe I have one with a bad chip and it's just crapping out.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, that would be the first thing I would want to just make sure that that's not an issue.
I don't know anyone playing Dishonored with the same TV and a PS4 Pro. I know a couple people that have PS4 Pros. I'll have to pick their brains. Maybe they're having the same kinds of issues. Maybe not as often or a little different.
Or if they're not too far away, just tell them to bring it over and give it a try. Yeah. I mean, you never know, right? It could be that straightforward. These things are electronics. They are very complicated.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get a bad one, and it sucks.
You get a bad one
when it works 99% of the time or 99% of the stuff, and then you have a weird issue like this where you think it's fine, but maybe that is a problem, but you don't really realize it because you just think it's an issue with some weird, like you said, HDCP error or something.
Yeah,
right?
It's super annoying. Super annoying. I know it has to do with HDCP. It's either the 4K output or HDCP. It's really annoying. Did we talk about Luke Cage last week or the week before?
I know that you were watching it.
I finished it.
We sort of mentioned, but you were saying how it was.
I did talk about it.
Kind of weren't super into it.
Did I not say the ending? No, you did. The ending was shit.
No, you hadn't quite finished it yet, I don't think.
Okay, well, I'm done.
I think you were quite a ways in, but you hadn't actually finished it yet.
I feel like we had this conversation. I'm having a super brain fart right now. Did I not?
Like I said, you were sort of talking about it, and you were saying it was kind of the weaker one that you've been feeling, but you wanted to finish it.
Yeah, we did. We did finish it.
Okay.
Definite setups.
You didn't like the ending?
Good setups for season 2. I didn't like the way the main baddie, the way it ended was just bad. I feel like I said this. I think we're having a Groundhog Day.
Maybe.
I feel like I said this all before. Anyway, whatever.
Maybe I just wasn't listening.
Luke Cage. Good character, decent. It it fell off a cliff at the end. I think it fell apart at the end. The main baddie was just, the ending was, I thought it was terrible.
Speaking of Netflix and Marvel, did you by any chance happen to check out the new Iron Fist trailer?
I did watch it. I don't know how I feel about that.
I think it looks super cool. But yeah, only time will tell.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about Iron Fist. So
yeah,
I don't know the character at all. It's Netflix. I'm sure it's going to be decent. Luke Cage is good. It's good. Don't get me wrong, but like it starts off slow and then it gets really good and going, and then it just kind of, the wheels kind of fall off and it just like just a wet lazy fart at the end.
I told my wife, like, we got to finish Daredevil and we got to catch up on some of this stuff because we got some other great stuff coming out here on Netflix.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited for what is it? The Punisher series.
Oh, yeah, that looks like it's going to be sweet.
I think I'm going to do a TV culling.
Yeah?
Well, we were watching a lot of shows like Sleepy Hollow,
I like Sleepy Hollow.
Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Like that too.
A couple other things. We have like so many episodes backlogged on our PVR, and I'm just kind of at this point, like, I really don't care to see what happens in those stories anymore.
Yeah,
like
that can happen. I kind of know what you mean.
I'm just kind of like,
for me, a bunch of stories that I'd been watching for a very long time have now ended, and it kind of sucks. But
like after the holiday break, so just like, okay, I didn't like where it was going. I didn't like the new shit they were doing. I'm like, and it's just kind of
this is my problem that I've always had with the holiday breaks.
Fizzled out my excitement for those shows. It's like, yeah, I like the main actor and he's cool and fun and stuff, but everything else sucks.
Yeah. My big thing with the holiday break is that every week that show's coming out and you're excited about it. Then after the holiday break, it is the most up and down thing where you'll go 1, 2, 3 weeks without a new episode.
No, like a month,
and then all of
or
a sudden there's a new episode. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then all of a sudden there's a new episode, but then there might not be another new episode for another month.
Yeah, because some other bullshit like holiday interrupts, like, and then
it's bizarre. But so after that holiday break, I find that it's very hard, unless you do have a PVR set up to record these shows, to watch them. Because you miss it. And I found that that's happened to me countless times where I'll be super into a show. Maybe I'm watching it, recording, or maybe I had just not set it up to record that series or whatever. And the holiday break hits, and then I totally fall off the wagon because I'm just not recording every single week, and they're no longer on. So, I come home on Thursday, I'm like, oh, cool, I want to watch this show. And then it's either a rerun or it's not. And I'm like, oh, right. And then I kind of forget about it, and then it comes back. And I'm like, oh, cool, it's back. And then the next week, it's not back. It's,
yeah.
And you're just like, this is stupid. Why is it? And I understand the way that TV shows work, and it takes longer to make the show, et cetera, but I don't know. I wish they would figure out a better solution to that. Because for me, I've dropped off on so many series that I really enjoyed. And after the holiday break, I realized that I'm now 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes behind. And I'm like, and then I just never watch them again.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
And that's totally where we're at. Like, my wife's like, hey, do you want to watch, what's the one with the fucking devil guy?
Lucifer.
Yeah. She's like, you want to watch Lucifer? I'm like,
See, and that's that exact thing happened to me. The first season of Lucifer, I was super into it. I was like, this show's awesome. I love this. And then the holiday break happened, and I never picked up after. And I was having last year was when we were having all the weird issues with our HD boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I never recorded a bunch, and then we were weeks behind, and I just never caught up. And now they're on season 2, and I have no idea what's going on. And I'm like, well, now I got to go back and rewatch the second half of the first season, and whatever.
Yeah,
it sucks. It just sucks. I hate that. I hate it.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
I honestly feel like I'm just, with Game of Thrones and what else? Like some other shows. Walking Dead, not so much anymore. Walking Dead, that's another one I think I might be dropping soon too. I really couldn't wait until Sunday to watch those shows, or like Westworld.
Right.
But I don't have that same, it's kind of like they're just on TV and it's just something to watch. It's like, that's the show, that's the best of what's available on TV. And I'm like, you know what? All the best shows I like, the ones I really passionately like, they're all HBO and they're all Netflix.
See, and it sucks for me because all the ones that I really liked and I was super passionate about, they're no longer on TV. They're ended.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is off, or
like Castle's gone this year. It ended last year. The Mentalist is gone. That was another one that I really liked. Like, yeah, it sucks, but whatever.
Well, it frees up a lot of time.
Play video games.
Yeah, I think that's more what it is now with the kid. I really gotta choose my battles. It's watch TV and not play anything, or don't watch TV and play games.
Oh, totally. I run into that. Sometimes I find that it's just nice to relax and not think about anything and watch some TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I just started watching Merlin on Netflix. It's the BBC show. It's cool. It's really neat. We're liking it. We're like 4 or 5 episodes in now. We were watching How I Met Your Mother, and we finished that. We got to the end last week, and so we were kind of looking for something new, something a little different.
Yeah.
So we're kind of on that. It's a little older, but it's really good. It's cool. So
I think right now I'm just kind of falling out of love with TV.
it happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does happen. With that, Dane, I think
that's it, dude.
I think I'm gonna say we have a show. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF. No K, RICF, no K. Sorry. I don't know why I had a hard time saying that.
You can always come visit me on Twitter at Dane Cody at DAYNECODY.
And make sure
and outside of that, you can love us, like us, heart us, share us with your friends.
Can you love us?
We're on all this. Yeah, man. You can love us on Facebook.
Can you love?
You can click that heart button.
Oh yeah, you can love us. Love some of our links, but you can only like our site. We're both
shut your face hole. You can love us.
We're both married, so this can get very complicated.
Hey, you can send your love. I accept hugs, virtual or otherwise.
Love and support.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah. Subscribe to us. Obviously, you already subscribed to us, but if you haven't, rate us on goddamn iTunes. I haven't seen a damn rating.
Hey, man.
There's a bunch of you out there. It's not that hard. You're playing on your computers all the time. I know iTunes really, really sucks. Like, it really sucks.
I'd have to install it.
iTunes, like, really...
You should do that and like us on there.
Like,
anyways.
iTunes really sucks. Like, it sucks like major balls.
Yeah, it does.
But just do me a favor, because that's how we get more listeners. For whatever reason, that is one of the most effective bumps, is when you get a couple reviews in a short time frame. It bumps you up the list and popularity and all that bullshit, a logarithm, internet thingamajiggy bullshit.
Right.
But if you have iTunes, even if you don't have iTunes, sneak on to your friend who has an Apple iPhone, subscribe to us on their phone, give us 5 stars, go on their MacBook, go on their other disgusting Apple devices, and just sneak a review.
Can people like us on Google Play as well?
If you do that, that'll give you like bonus points. That's even sneakier. That's even better than a review. Like a sneaky review on someone else's device. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how Google Play works. I don't think Google Play has
a rating system. It must.
I don't think so. I don't know. Who the hell uses Google Play for podcasts anyway? Nobody does.
I don't know.
Everyone uses...
I think we're on there, though.
Because we are on there. I think most people who use podcast apps on Android, because Google Play didn't support podcasts for so long, the third-party app market kind of took it over.
That's true.
Yeah. Until next week, I'm going to say we're out.
Catch you later.
Peace.